Have you ever wondered what happens when the missing remain missing? In Jackson, Mississippi, this question took on a chilling reality as 215 bodies were discovered in unmarked graves. A simple metal rod and a number were the only identifiers for these forgotten souls, a stark reminder of the anonymity they were condemned to in death. This unsettling discovery has left families of the deceased grappling with a harsh truth. Their loved ones were buried without their knowledge, often despite relentless searches to find them. As they grapple with their grief, they are also dealing with the distressing revelation that in some cases, the deceased had identification on them, yet no action was taken to notify their kin. Questions arise, echoing in the minds of the bereaved and reverberating through our collective consciousness. How could this happen? Who is responsible? And importantly, how can we prevent such a tragedy from repeating? These questions have spurred calls for a thorough investigation, with the hope that the answers will bring some semblance of peace to the families and accountability to those at fault. The beginning of this story is as eerie as it is unsettling, but when the details unfold, it becomes a tale of neglect and a demand for justice. The discovery of these bodies has caused more than just a stir. The shockwaves from this revelation have been felt deeply within the hearts and minds of the Jackson community. The human impact of this event cannot be understated. Families and friends are left grappling with the distressing reality that their loved ones, once lost, are now found, but in a manner that no one could have ever imagined. One such story is that of Dexter Wade, a name etched in the annals of this tragedy. His death was the spark that ignited the unsettling discovery of the unmarked graves. Despite having identification on him at the time of his death, the detective assigned to his case failed to take action. The result? Wade was buried without his family's knowledge, his grave marked only by a number and a metal rod. This has led to a rallying cry for change. Activists like Arthur Silky Slim Reed and attorneys like Ben Crump and Dennis Sweet are stepping into the fray. They're shedding light on the distressing details of the case and advocating for a more dignified handling of the deceased. Their voices echo the pain and anguish of the families affected, many of whom were not notified of their loved ones' deaths or burials. Their demands? Justice and transparency. They're calling for a thorough and comprehensive federal investigation into these unmarked graves and potential civil rights violations. The use of numbers for graves, the lack of identification, and the overall handling of the deceased, these are not just oversights, they're seen as a blatant disregard for human dignity and a violation of basic civil rights. As the community reels from this shocking discovery, one question remains: how could this happen in our society today? In the face of such a tragedy, it's easy to feel helpless. But the truth is, each of us can play a crucial role in shaping the narrative and advocating for change. Staying informed and engaged with situations like these is more than just a civic duty. It's a way to ensure that those in power are held accountable and that such injustices are not repeated. Public pressure can be a powerful catalyst for change. Sharing stories, voicing concerns, and demanding transparency can all contribute to a broader understanding of the issue at hand. Social media platforms, news outlets, and community forums are all platforms where your voice can be heard. But our engagement shouldn't stop there. We can support the affected families directly, contributing to fundraisers, sending messages of solidarity, or simply respecting their grief by acknowledging the humanity of their lost loved ones. Finally, we can join the call for justice. Whether that's supporting the work of activists like Arthur Silky Slim Reed and attorney Ben Crump, or demanding a thorough federal investigation into these unmarked graves and potential civil rights violations. Each of us has a part to play in this narrative. Remember, your voice has power. Use it to demand change and to ensure that the lost are never forgotten.